probably Tesla's in a better position to create a new phone that's not Android or iPhone than maybe any company in the world.
Elon Musk's Pi Phone is no longer just a rumor, and if what's coming is even a little bit true, it could completely replace your iPhone. We're talking about a smartphone that doesn't rely on cell towers, that connects directly to satellites, and that works literally anywhere on Earth. No signal, no carrier, no limits. And here's the part most people still don't understand. This isn't just about a new phone. It's about changing who controls your connection, your data, and ultimately your digital life. If this device becomes real in the way people are predicting, it doesn't just compete with Apple or Samsung, it rewrites the entire system those companies depend on. Now here's where it gets interesting, because a lot of what you've seen online is either overhyped or completely wrong. You've probably seen headlines screaming, "Tesla Pi Phone is confirmed," or "Musk just destroyed the iPhone." But the truth is more nuanced. There is no official announcement of a Pi Phone, at least not yet. However, dismissing it entirely would be a mistake. Elon Musk has already built the core infrastructure that would make something like this possible. Starlink is already in orbit, delivering internet across the globe. Tesla already builds tightly integrated ecosystems powered by software and AI. And SpaceX has proven it can scale hardware faster than almost any company in history. So instead of asking whether the phone has been announced, the better question is this: does Musk already have the pieces needed to make it happen? And when you look closely, the answer starts to look like yes. Let's talk about price, because this is where the idea shifts from fantasy to something you can actually evaluate. Most realistic estimates place a potential Pi Phone somewhere between $800 and $1,200, which puts it directly in line with flagship devices like the iPhone Pro or Samsung Galaxy Ultra. On the surface, that sounds normal, but the value proposition is completely different. You're not just paying for a screen, a camera, and a processor. You could be paying for access to a global satellite network. Today, if you want satellite connectivity, you're often looking at expensive hardware and monthly fees that can easily run into the hundreds. Now imagine a device where that capability is built in, or at least deeply integrated. Suddenly, that $1,000 price tag doesn't just compete with other phones. It potentially replaces an entire category of service you're already paying for every month. But here's what nobody is really talking about, and it's the most important part. The real innovation here isn't the phone itself, it's the network behind it. Starlink already has thousands of satellites in orbit, and its entire purpose is to deliver low-latency internet to virtually any location on Earth. More importantly, SpaceX is actively working on direct-to-device communication, which means future phones could connect to satellites without needing a dish or external receiver. That alone changes everything. Instead of relying on cell towers spaced across cities and highways, your device could connect straight to space. And when you combine that with Tesla's software ecosystem, AI-driven interfaces, real-time syncing across devices, and deep vertical integration, you start to see a completely different kind of product emerge. There are even discussions around solar-assisted charging to extend battery life in off-grid situations, and while Neuralink integration is still far in the future, it shows the direction Musk is moving toward. This wouldn't just be a phone, it would be a gateway into an entirely new digital infrastructure. At the same time, it's important to stay grounded, because there are real challenges that can't be ignored. First, the technology, while promising, isn't fully there yet. Satellite-to-phone communication exists in limited forms, like emergency SOS features, but delivering full-speed internet directly to a handheld device is still being developed. Then there's the issue of battery life. Communicating with satellites requires more power than connecting to nearby cell towers, which means efficiency improvements would be critical. On top of that, there are regulatory barriers. Telecommunications is heavily controlled in many countries, and creating a global network that bypasses traditional carriers would involve navigating a complex web of laws and approvals. And finally, manufacturing a smartphone at scale is a completely different challenge compared to rockets or cars. So while the vision is compelling, execution is far from simple, and timelines could easily stretch longer than expected. But if you step past those challenges for a moment and imagine the end result, the lifestyle shift becomes very clear. Picture yourself traveling through a remote area where no one else has signal. Their phones are essentially useless, while yours is fully connected. You're navigating in real time, sending messages, even streaming content if needed, because your connection doesn't depend on ground infrastructure anymore. Now extend that into your daily life. Your phone syncs seamlessly with your car, your home, and your energy systems. Everything becomes part of a single ecosystem that works together without friction. There are no dropped connections, no dead zones, and no need to think about which network you're on. The experience becomes consistent, reliable, and always available, no matter where you are. That's not just a convenience upgrade. It's a fundamental change in how technology fits into your life. And then comes the real breakthrough, the part that makes this more than just another tech upgrade. It's independence. A phone that connects directly to satellites removes your reliance on traditional infrastructure. You're no longer dependent on cell towers, local networks, or even regional outages. In situations where communication is critical, natural disasters, remote travel, or even large-scale network failures, your device continues to work. That level of reliability is something current smartphones simply can't offer. There's even speculation that future versions of this kind of technology could extend beyond Earth, aligning with long-term space exploration goals. That might sound extreme, but so did reusable rockets before they became routine. What seems unrealistic at first often becomes inevitable once the underlying technology is in place. This is where the real benefit starts to take shape. It's not just about better features or faster speeds. It's about freedom. Right now, your connectivity depends on systems you don't control. Carriers, contracts, infrastructure built and maintained by third parties. A satellite-connected phone shifts that dynamic. It gives you the ability to stay connected anywhere without worrying about coverage maps or roaming charges. For businesses, that means more reliable operations in remote areas. For remote workers, it means true location independence. For emergency services, it means communication that doesn't fail when it's needed most. And for everyday users, it offers something simple but powerful: the confidence that your phone will work when you need it, no matter where you are. Of course, none of this would carry as much weight without the person behind it. Elon Musk has a track record of turning ideas that seem unrealistic into functioning systems at scale. Tesla transformed the electric vehicle market. SpaceX made reusable rockets not just possible, but economically viable. Starlink deployed a global satellite network faster than most experts thought achievable. When Musk builds something, it's rarely incremental. It's usually designed to change the structure of an entire industry. And that's exactly why the idea of a Pi phone is being taken seriously, even without an official announcement. That said, it's not all upside, and it's important to acknowledge the potential downsides. The price could be a barrier, especially if satellite connectivity requires ongoing subscription tiers. Battery performance could become a concern, particularly in scenarios where the device relies heavily on satellite communication. There's also the risk of overpromising, as Musk is known for ambitious timelines that don't always align with reality. And perhaps most importantly, there's the issue of ecosystem lock-in. A fully integrated system can be incredibly powerful, but it can also make it harder to switch away if you decide it's not for you. These are real considerations that could influence how widely this kind of device is adopted. When you zoom out and look at the bigger picture, though, it becomes clear that this isn't just about a single product. If a satellite-connected smartphone becomes mainstream, it has the potential to disrupt the entire telecommunications industry. Instead of building and maintaining towers across the planet, connectivity could be delivered from space. That opens the door to providing internet access to billions of people who currently lack reliable infrastructure. It reduces dependence on regional networks and creates a more unified, global system. And perhaps most significantly, it shifts the balance of power away from traditional carriers and toward companies that control both hardware and network layers. This isn't just an evolution of the smartphone. It's a redefinition of how the world stays connected. So now the question becomes personal. If this technology becomes available, would you actually switch? If you had the option to eliminate dead zones, reduce dependence on carriers, and carry global connectivity in your pocket, would that be enough to change what you use every day? Or would the risks, the cost, and the uncertainty hold you back? Let me know in the comments. This is the kind of shift that doesn't happen often, but when it does, it tends to reshape everything around it. And if Elon Musk follows through on the direction he's already moving in, this might not be a question of if, but when.